Hello friends, this is Seher from Easy Peasy, and the topic that we are going to discuss today is called as J.J. Thomson experiment that leads to the discovery of electrons. Now at that time, the cathode rays were already discovered, and after the discovery of cathode rays, the great debate was started. Some scientists were saying that these cathode rays are particles, and some scientists believe that these cathode rays are waves. So the next scientist, that is J.J. Thomson, did a breakthrough experiment. Now what he did is that he used the same cathode rays tube. So this is the cathode rays tube, and it's showing a beam coming from there, right? And then he put some charge plates with some magnetic fields around the tube to see how this beam is going to react with electrical field and magnetic field. So first he applied the electrical field on the beam. So when he applied the electrical field on the beam moved towards the positive side away from the negative side. Even if they change the charges on the plate, it is still moving towards the positive side and away from the negative side, showing us that this beam of rays is negatively charged. Then he changed the metals, but the same type of beam was produced no matter which metal was used for the electrodes, and it always behaves the same way. Then he applied magnetic field with the electrical field, and magnetic field is also diverting or bending this beam of cathode rays. So he managed both the electrical field and magnetic field in a way that the cathode rays will stop bending. And by that means that electrical force is equal to the magnetic force at that time. Then he put the values and find the velocity of electrons. He doesn't know that these were electrons at that time. But when he stopped the electrical field and just put the magnetic field on the beams start moving in the form of a circular path. So it means that magnetic force is also acting as a centripetal force. So he can apply the formula for centripetal force like that. Now he can change this velocity into the formula that we already found. That is the electrical field divided by magnetic field. And that's how he created the E/m value, and that was 1.76 into 10 raised to power 11. Here E is electrical field that he applied, B is the magnetic field, and R is the radius of the curvature that was made by that cathode rays. Now again, at this point they didn't know that it is electron, but by looking at this E/m ratio, J.J. Thomson can say that this particle is very much lighter than the atoms. So this led to the discovery of new tiny particle, that is the electron. And he changed the model of atom into the plum pudding model of atom. The J.J. Thomson's proposed that an atom consists of uniform sphere with a radius of approximately 10 raised to power 10 meter or 10 raised to power minus 8 centimeter, in which the positive charge is uniformly distributed over the entire sphere. Just like you can see, the blue part is the one uniform positive charge. And the electrons are the negative particles that are embedded, just like the plum pudding model, they are embedded within the sphere in such a way that they're creating a stable electrostatic arrangement, because atoms doesn't have any charge and electrons have negative charge on them. So at that time, the protons were not discovered, so they were just thinking that it's a ball of a positive charge on which the electrons are embedded. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe this channel. Thank you. Bye for now.